Whoa.
All right, let's
Sorry
take it
about
from the
that.
top.
Sorry.
So we're going to segue into our organic segment. We got Jeremy Silva waiting. We
In
have
the wings, in the
JP
wings.
Maxfield here to talk about the Organic Cannabis Association, tell his story of his brands. We got Chris from Indo Expo in studio who's going to talk about Indo Expo, which Adam and I are going to be speaking at, I guess.
Yeah, we're doing the Whirlwind Tour.
The Whirlwind? Did you make that pun?
The
Because
West
it's like traveling
Coast.
around the world.
Well, in like short
Boomerang.
how's that?
Yeah,
Boomerang Tour.
We're going out to Chalice and binging back to speak at Indo Expo.
Yeah, we're going to do everything.
In a private
We're
jet,
double-
right? You're covering the private
Taking
jet,
the
I heard.
TARDIS.
Oh,
Chris?
yeah, that's what I heard. All blacked out and with vaporizers and things ready to roll so we can...
Right.
All right, sounds
So,
good.
Chris, we'll get to you on that. So, back to organics.
Sure.
Did the kid just say sure and walk away, or was that Adam?
Is that where we're going to crash again? All right, don't go away too long because you know what happens.
Yeah, your mere presence sustains this computer. It's loneliness that it crashes from.
All that porn just wants to like reach out to you.
Ryan, I miss you.
Ryan, come home.
Right on. So, tell us your brand stories, and then let's talk OCA, nitty gritty.
Let's talk nitty gritty. Cool. So like I said, I'm founder and CEO of Waste Farmers, sustainable agriculture company. We're a family of brands. Maxfield is our brand for urban food farmers. So we've got soils that you'll see sort of through Whole Foods, other natural grocers, garden centers, and so forth. Then we have a brand called Batch 64, which is our brand of soils for cannabis producers.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I've heard of that, yeah.
I had a
You
bag.
guys, that's where you guys buy dirt, not other people.
Hey, doy.
We actually just started using Batch 64 at the facility that I work at.
Yep.
Right on. We're grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I mean, it's we were using the Botanicare cocoa with having to mix in the perlite and then tossing in some humic acids and things of that nature. But just the fact that
Just random stuff you're throwing in
it's just a bunch of random shit, pretty much.
Styrofoam,
No,
some
but the fact that
broken up
just
newspaper,
just
whatever,
mixing the
whip it.
perlite alone, if you brought it down to time in
It's
actual
absurd.
transplant time, would take at least an hour. If you figure just the mixing alone for having to transplant an entire room.
Right, and that's sort of the classic thing that farmers don't value, like across all sectors, is their time.
That's what I mean. I could be. There's better things I could be doing.
The kid does.
Kid values his time.
The
yeah.
kid values this time. He's
Rather ride his
checked out. He's
motorcycle.
like, wait a minute, it's 6:01.
No,
I'm
but-
out of here. These plants can just deal with it tomorrow. I
No,
guess.
there's better things that I could be doing in the garden other than spending
Totally.
time mixing soil. So
I wish more people, and I think more and more folks are coming, to that realization too. And I think we've had the benefit of being in Colorado and sort of growing with this industry from the start. And so I think it's been an evolution. Like farmers have evolved certainly from basement to warehouse to greenhouse and so forth. So it's fun to have kind of been along for the ride.
And so from that, you've
So from
gone
that,
further.
we kind of look. So as a sustainable agriculture company, we kind of looked at the industry and saw, an abuse or like a misunderstanding or a lack of certification around organic, and we saw that name being thrown around, and we knew from the work that we've done in sustainable agriculture how valued organic is in consumer culture and consumer lexicon, and with the USDA being able to certify crops as organic in the food space, cannabis being not federally illegal, it's not under their jurisdiction. And so we kind of figured that there needs to be some sort of industry-driven organization to implement rigorous standards to put in organic, protect consumers, protect growers, and protect small producers who need to and should be earning a premium for producing organic.
Well, that was a discussion that we had at the garden the other day when we were talking about what each person there would have considered to be, truly organic. And there were so many people that are like, oh, well, as long as all my bottles say OMRI certified,
right,
then I'm fine.
Right, and so it's like, and you can't have because really what this is about is transparency to the consumer, and what the USDA did in effect was like, as is happening in cannabis, like the farther the consumer gets from the farmer, the more there needs to be some third party saying like, this is the way it's actually produced, and what they're telling you that they're giving you, and in this case, what we care about is organic. It actually really is organic, and so that's sort of where it came about, and it's a nonprofit, member-based, and so we started it to sort of drive the discussion so that the industry can come together and really, from the inside and as an industry build these standards together, because consumers want it, and the challenge is consumers are buying organic thinking they're getting organic, but when you've got something like a company with organic in their name fighting for Eagle 20 to be used as a pesticide or to be an acceptable pesticide, clearly there's sort of like
there's definitely a disconnect, and there's no one to enforce it.
Right.
And now you guys, kind of like spinning off of that, you guys are taking your first focus, your first aim at pesticide-free certification, right? Yep. And that's definitely a big topic right now in the industry with entire gardens getting quarantined.
For sure. And if I'm not mistaken, is it EPA that's taking over all of the pesticide regulations now? I believe I just got an email.
Yeah, is that you got one as a grower?
Well, from the company, I got it forwarded.
Is EPA the Environmental Protection Agency? Is that the
EPA.
Oh my God!
So they're now taking over.
So it's going to be like again, everything already was put on the list, but it's.
Remember, we heard from a friend of ours that EPA was going to take over a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And our whole issue with that is like there's timings that are more important than actual usage is important, but it's also timing's important, and a lot of those things were just kind of blanketed into one big, roll it up into one big rule.
Right. Well, and to me, a lot of the big problem is they didn't do thorough research with the rules. Well, the rules are kind of like counteractive to each other, right? On the one hand, you're saying, okay, you got to grow these things pretty much inside, either in a greenhouse or in a warehouse.
Right.
You can only grow one crop. You can't grow tomatoes mixed in there. That's against the law. You can't companion plant. You can't do anything else. You can only grow cannabis.
Yeah.
And
not to mention all of your waste has to be destroyed, and it all has to be unrecognizable, and it all has to be locked away, and all of these.
It's up to a permaculture system.
Yeah.
No, you can't. Make a compost in the back with all your leaves or anything.
So
it needs to be accounted for.
The logical thing to do.
With all this, still, you're creating a situation. Look, it's like keeping people in a prison, a super densely populated prison. You know what happens then? Everybody gets sick.
Yeah,
and
right.
that's sort of the
everybody
point,
gets
too.
sick.
And that's sort of, and that's part of the challenge, right? Is like as a group and a company in the industry on what we do for our day jobs, and then starting this nonprofit, like there is a lot of just plant management and things where you say like you're going to get pests if you pack people in like a feedlot, or if you pack them in like a feedlot. Like it depends on how you use your space, and so a lot of these. But that's a tough, discussion.
Right. There's economics. There's economics to
Right.
square footage, and then at the same time, the overuse of pesticides in some sectors, the concentrate thing also. Like so many people began to think that, oh well, whatever, we can just blast it at the end of the day, and no one's going to know. No one's
Right, with
going to
powdery
know.
mildew or something like that, and that's the problem too.
Or
It's
with Eagle 20, you know what I mean?
Both
Maybe they
ways.
still spray it and then blast it at the end. But that if this is all like
concentrated Eagle 20.
Well, that's sort of so part of the discussion is like we came out with focusing on pesticides before this
recent
yeah,
kerfuffle.
because what they're doing is they're saying these are acceptable based on what what is allowable based on their regulations. But like for organic, there's a step that has nothing to do with what's acceptable on their list or not.
Right.
So for us, it's just coincidental, sort of the timing, but like what they're doing and what we're doing is sort of two different things.
Independent.
Like what could be allowable under their program, might not be allowable under, like they still spray DDT in certain places, like for mosquito control.
Right.
Just as a perfect example, and this is currently only applicable in Denver, but one of the more popular, I believe, like PM treatments and fungicides is Green Cure, and everyone knows it's just a potassium bicarbonate pretty much. But now in Denver, they are telling you that you are not allowed to spray Green Cure during any part of your cycle, whether it's in veg or in the first weeks of flower, anything,
Right.
solely because on the bottle it says for greenhouse use. It doesn't say for greenhouse use only, but it says for greenhouse use. It doesn't say you can use this inside. So now they're saying, like, if you have a greenhouse, it's okay, but if you're inside, you can't spray this potassium bicarbonate, but you can spray all of these other things, which for a while included Eagle 20.
Right.
And when that first came out, I was in shock because it just doesn't make any sense to me.
And that makes me want to ask you, do you guys do any outreach? Because the kid's point is really valid. Like,
Is your name really is it the kid? What,
It's Ryan.
Okay. So it's the kid. All right, so I just,
it's just the
Ryan,
long
the kid,
story.
I'm like,
Yeah, I'm Ryan.
Anyway, the kid's point is really valid.
Yeah, my parents named me the kid.
I was like, what?
That's the jerk. That's the jerk and the kid.
So
Okay.
his point's really valid in that the legislators really have no idea, no sound basis.
None.
So are you guys
No.
doing any outreach and education to them to like guide these very important and far-reaching decisions?
Of course, so I think that like as we grow and we develop, like there's the certification aspect of it, and then there's education, which is consumer facing, and then outreach, and so while what we in terms of our work with pesticides being sort of a separate issue from what was put out by the state,
Right.
like at the same point we want to say, look, there's some things that we think probably should have been included on there that weren't, that are acceptable for organic use, that we should sort of consider. So in that respect, we'd sort of do outreach. But I think the key for us is consumer outreach. Like I think
Right.
consumers need to understand.
Consumer education.
Consumer education is like the biggest. Like we're talking about a consumer outreach program centered around kind of like this idea of what are you smoking, like, and
Right. Do you know what is
what
really
do you
in
smoke?
what you're smoking?
Like, and I think that the majority of consumers, when they see it organic, assume that it is. And if they knew, and it's sort of the challenge, right, is that like everyone applying all these pesticides has been completely transparent. It's listed right on the packaging. It's just,
Right.
as a consumer, you have no idea.
No idea what the story I told earlier today is like it was like the first week of legalization. I finally got a chance to go to a legal store. I don't even remember which one it is, otherwise I would totally put them on blast. But I wanted to buy it just for the receipt and the packaging,
Yeah.
posterity's sake, whatever. And I went down and I bought it and I looked at the label, and it doesn't have even the brand name. It has the active ingredient. So if you know
Right.
what,
Who knows what the active ingredient in Eagle 20 is?
if it says
unless-
but it did have like imidacloprid, which is definitely malate.
Sure.
And like
only-
when you see, but you have to have seen that on a bottle a bunch of times to know,
Yep.
And it's like you see these things on there, and they're like, "Whoa!" It doesn't say warning. It doesn't say
It's like
anything.
fast talking on a commercial, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's
and that's
like
the last
in
thing
there
you
with a
wanna see
bunch
is-
of other shit, and you're like, "Is that a fertilizer?" Is
Right,
it a-
yeah, like try this antidepressant medicine, but this antidepressant medicine can make you do this. It could be this, and people are like, wait, I didn't even hear that. That guy spoke so fast.
Right.
So yeah, if you don't know what that word is, and what hasn't happened yet, which still is surprising to me, is that the numerous amount of grow shops around here still have not set aside an area specifically that people who are working in the industry can go in and say, these are the acceptable products. Every time, essentially, I walk into Way to Grow or I walk
Right.
into Cultivate, I bring
We should talk to Corey about that.
my pesticide use form with me in case I need
Right.
to make sure that, hey, something changed in the next 2 months.
Right.
So there should be a section where you can be able to walk in and say, boom, this is what you're allowed to use, this is what you can't use, because I think a lot of people get discredited. They walk in and they see Green Cure and they're like, yeah, I can use Green Cure, and they haven't got the most up-to-date pesticide list. And
Well,
then
it moves beyond sort of like not to say it's like reductionist, but like it moves into like an integrated way to manage or grow and integrated pest management. And I think that like as a start, we were, to touch briefly, like we were in one of the big industry meetings, and everyone said, when I had and again, Organic Cannabis Association is something I'm the chairman of, but we started it. It's a nonprofit, like to help the industry. And he's like, people are either gonna love you or hate you in this industry. And I was like, I don't really understand why. Like the OCA is not meant to be a narc organization. It's not like it's like actively seeking to bust people. What it's saying is, we understand that there's a certain percentage, and it's probably pretty small relative to the overall population of consumers that want organic. And when they are buying organic, it should be organic. And there are a bunch of producers who are producing organically that are competing against a bunch of others who aren't, but still getting the same price. And so we want to create transparency there and protect the people that are doing it right, and hopefully inspire the whole industry to shift towards it. But the goal is to say, look, we're setting a standard for organic, and we're trying to kind of create an internal system of regulation around it, because regardless of what happens, consumers, just like they've always done, are going to drive for this are going to drive for this. It's just a level of their understanding. But as soon as they understand it, like I always go back to like Upton Sinclair and sort of those times, like as soon as they understand it, they're going to be on top of it. So
People would be outraged if they knew like really how dangerous the chemicals were, and then it was put into perspective for them, like how little people seem to give a fuck. Like there's definitely, because we haven't really tackled the pesticide issue. I was saving it for you.
yeah.
And like a lot of this stuff, you're supposed to have a respirator on, and you're supposed to be spraying it in a suit, and you're only supposed to. It is certified, but it's only certified for emergency use once for a knockdown.
Right.
And you have people just kind of like, oh yeah, throw the backpack sprayer on, spray that shit down once a week, and then moreover, and the reason, kid, that the difference between greenhouse and warehouse is this: the UV and the sunlight breaks down more shit, breaks that stuff down. You don't have that in our lights. Exactly. So all the like how fast it breaks down, all that does not apply. It all changes, and no one's really done the research on it.
Right.
So,
but things like Green Cure, I mean, that's again, what that is not harmful to us in any way, shape, or form. You can eat a spoonful of that if you wanted to.
If you want to eat potassium salts,
so it would make you physically ill, but it would not harm your body if you took it. So the fact that you can't spray it solely because the label says for greenhouse use, a little ridiculous.
So I think to piggyback on that, like I think to clarify, like no pesticide is safe, right? Like it's all about application. It's all about application rate. So for instance, like you could bathe, take a shower in neem oil, and that probably wouldn't be a good idea. Or you could get minor exposure to Eagle 20 in certain environments, and it's probably not a good thing. So like it's important to know like no pesticide is truly safe.
Right.
Neem's an interesting one though, because it is a health product. Like bathing, they make neem soap and stuff, so you can bathe in it.
Yeah,
because
it's
definitely.
Why would you want to?
You'd stink.
You'd be like,
because you want to smell like an Indian restaurant.
Kimchi or something.
Most of the things, since I can handle, dude, just for some reason, my weekly neem is just.
Once you get like toxed out by neem though, and like just to get too much of it in your mouth or something from like that's like wow. Yeah. It is too much. Then you never forget.
They use it as birth control in India. No bullshit. So you got to get the ahimsa neem though, the good stuff.
The good stuff.
Yeah, everyone in the chat room saying no, not Einstein oil. Yeah, if you say neem is crap, neem is worthless.
I don't like Einstein
oil. Go to Build a Soil, get some of the ahimsa neem.
Yeah.
Try it. Tell me if it's still worthless. If it's still worthless, I don't know. We'll send you a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Reimburse you. I'll reimburse you with an Adam Dunn T-shirt.
And you'll guarantee birth control with it, right?
No, that part I'm not doing. You got to talk to Clackamas Coot about that.
Atlantic One says he loves the smell of neem. Oh God, just like thinking about it.
Maybe you're part bug.
Yeah,
look at the kid gagging.
So it's funny. We had a farmer. We did like an exchange with farmers from Africa came here, and it was I guess it was about 2 or 3 years ago, and they were trying to just learn about urban agriculture and our environment and sort of a cultural exchange. And so we had this farmer who was with us for a month. And it was right around 2010, and he's a pretty conservative guy. Like I was getting done with like mixing soil one day, and I took off like my overalls, and I had a "Marriage is So Gay" T-shirt on. And he's like, "What does that mean?" I was like, "Let's just not get into it. We just won't talk about it." But I was like, "You want to see an urban farm that's really, really cool?" He's like, "Definitely." So I took him to a grow, and his mind was just blown. He was a brilliant like soil scientist, brilliant guy. He was just like, "Oh, this is amazing." And very conservative approach to cannabis here, obviously.
Right.
But he's like, "What's that bucket in the corner?" It's like, "That's neem oil." He's like, "Does that say $50?" And I was like, or whatever the price was. But he's like, "50." I was like, "50." He's like, "That tree grows in my backyard, and it's a weed, and we throw it away. We cut it, actively burn it, and cut it down."
Yeah, Karanja too is another African one that's excellent. Kid doesn't want any of them. No neem.
Come on.
No. And it. I guess I spray it, and it works. And for the people who say that it ruins your oil if you spray it late. But you know what I mean? If you're hitting your veg plants with some neem oil as preventative, protective methods, and we still get fire oil from them.
And don't forget to mix the neem seed in with your soil. Clark taught us that it increases your terpene production, and that includes the terpenes like the anthromycins and stuff that are natural pesticides.
Plus, a lot of people don't use their neem properly, and they don't keep it warm, or they mix it with cold water, and it just essentially shoots out in big old fat clumps. And then
sounds like you did that recently.
No, I just know that happens. I store my neem in my bedroom actually to keep it nice and warm. So
warm.
Warm.
Yeah.
Toasty neem.
Toasty neem. Smells the best
Bike's
that
gonna
way.
die in a second. Bike's about to pass
I
out.
know I'm taking this all in because I don't know shit about organics or growing or.
Or anything. It
or
looks like
the
you're
kid
just
is
like
blowing me
drooling.
away
You
with
were
all
like
these
dro-
big
The
words.
kids,
Well, no,
sitting
let me
there
just
reading the
say,
bottles and
again, I
studying.
still don't
Kids
like
are throwing big
to,
words?
you know, on air mention where I'm working necessarily, but I've been learning a lot. I mean, the people I've been working with are great, so I've been really
Teach you big words. I like
being
that.
able to
Oh.
learn the difference in preventative methods. You know, over at Dixie, I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff because nobody really cared.
Nobody
Yeah, but here, you know, my product's
Oh.
actually being smoked or turned into oil, and so it's
Now they care.
I'm
See,
learning
See, I
a
mean,
lot.
and
yeah.
I think it's cool to have to see that sort of care go into it. And there's so many, I think, folks like you in the industry. It's fun to see.
And on that note, we are in about 8 minutes going to add Jeremy Silva to the conversation. Jeremy's the proprietor of Build the Soil, who's the dude really doing the real deal organic supply in this state and in the country for the new generation of organic growers like Ryan. You know, but let's keep talking about OCA and what you guys are doing, how people can participate. I mean, I know that we want to get on board with the pesticide free. I think that it's a great initiative, and I think the education around it is really going to change things too. Because if people it's this really cool idea where it's like everyone's going to want the certification. Because I get calls every day being like, "Oh, you pesticide free? Are you pesticide free?" You know, so everyone's going to want the certification. Well,
Right.
then you got to maybe you can't pass right now, but learn some things,
Right.
and as a result, make it safer for the end user.
Exactly.
And I think it's great to incentivize that and put the pressure on, and that's what the organization does.
Exactly.
So how can people participate? How can they get involved? How
Sure.
can they reach out?
So go out to Organic CA, so organicca.org, so Organic Cannabis Association, organicca.org, and sign up. We are working on membership levels, everything from individual to company, and then we're finishing and in the finishing process of certification, and so I think that should be ready. And then and specific timing, I think in the coming months, consumer education is going to be sort of the first initiative that we work towards, but it's important to sort of build the fundraising base so that we can get out and do proper consumer education. So
Sure.
sign up for membership, sponsorship, and help us spread the word.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing is spreading the word and you know, even just if you're not trying to sign up, maybe you're an underground grower. We got a lot of those who listen and maybe don't want to sign up for anything.
For sure.
Just spread
Sign
the
up
word
as
about
individuals too.
Yeah. Well, that too. And even if you're scared and to put your name on a piece of paper with anything to do with the word cannabis because you're in another state, for example.
Yeah. makes
Just
sense.
spread the word. Just spread the word. Let people know there's a difference.
Totally.
Get access to educational materials and the more, even in the black market, dude, there's no reason black market pot should be less safe. Do you agree, Bike?
I buy black market organic weed.
I know you do,
Yeah.
but you're the alpha black market buyer.
But what you're saying is that's what you should be getting. You should
I'm
be able to
saying
get
if this guy can
organic.
do it, why can't?
Right.
guy-
Well, the
Right.
difference is though, you know, like
like
most people
organic
think
black
most you're gonna find it harder to find good organic like cannabis in shops, I think, than you will just from home people, because most home people
Care more.
care more and just.
And so what should
can
that do?
handle
That should
organic.
drive the price up and allow people who are producing it to get paid what they should get paid.
We're always down with that.
Yeah, we love that.
It's
We're big
definitely-
supporters of your message.
It definitely costs a little bit more
The
in the black
combination of
market.
organic and also the combination of just how long it takes to grow your cannabis too. It's like one of those things where people, you know, don't deal. That's why most people don't grow long flowering
man-
sativas, and if they did, they got paid.
If
a
they
little
do,
bit
they
more.
grow
There's
'em 8
slow,
weeks.
slow food, slow money, slow dope.
Yeah, but in the
Yeah.
long run, if it's you know, just like slow food, it's usually better when it finally
Of
is done. You
course.
know, and organically grown cannabis should be more, and also, like I said, just longer sativa. So the combo, you know, grow nice long.
And soil grown. He'll
So-
agree.
oh, for sure.
Well, I mean, no one in our audience doubts. I mean, and I've had some great hydros. Some of the top 10 herb I've smoked has been hydro.
There is awesome hydro.
but
It does
most
exist.
of
It's hard
it,
to find.
right? But
It's usually
most of the top 10 herb I've smoked was organic soil.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's more the speedy quality, or it has that kind of like heart racing kind of high that you're like, whoa, that was really intense.
The
but
hydro?
yeah,
Because it's really intense and it kind of goes
peaks
down
out. Yeah,
fast.
and it has a little bit. You know, so you will get those moments in time when you're at just the right place, right time. Man, that's like wow. But
Giggle fits.
Yeah.
but
And it
but
looks gorgeous, and it's
yeah,
just
and it
proper.
hits all the right
styled.
notes.
Yeah.
but usually that stuff doesn't have quite the integrity of the long term. And see how it is when it ages and cures and stuff. You'll get stuff like that. It's really good on the front end and kind of doesn't really have that ability to cure properly, whereas organic stuff's like denser, cures better.
See, let's curate that now, like that knowledge before it's lost and industrialized. Like we had to go through a whole period of nasty industrialized stuff in food to like appreciate. And we've got sort of this appreciation now, but it's happening real fast. Like this industrialization, like you guys are seeing it, and so it's like let's just grab a hold of ourselves and just protect some of the integrity. Yeah, for sure. Like there's certain things that if you're in the wrong age group, you're not going to even know what the original one was. So then it's like cutting a pattern where someday the one guy cuts that pattern just a little smaller and then that thing doesn't fit quite right. And now same thing's happening with food. A lot of times like people are figuring it out again, like artesian everything. Right. I was just in New York and everything is small run artesian style, but getting back to the original thing, everybody's going for, wholesome as far as what everybody can think about. And that's where like you were talking about like the integration of like I want to see, and this is personally and also as like I want to push the envelope as the OCA. Like I do want to see more farmers, more cannabis producers taking on the true idea of farmer and integrating food into their production and sort of fully integrating. So I think it struck a chord when you're talking about like this idea that you can't grow both.
Yeah, you're not a farmer. You're a very restricted type of operator. Right.
And I hope that it'll evolve. But
bridging that gap is definitely going to be a challenge. And I think even raising awareness of the agriculture of it, which is what the organization is doing. Right? Yeah. You're just talking about agriculture as agriculture, and I think raising awareness of just the pure agriculture of it is conducive to bridging that gap and bringing more farmers into the conversation. And like you said about that African farmer, anytime I've brought like a real farmer around to the deep soil geeks, they're blown away. And that's where the approach that we have as a company, like I come from an agricultural background, like so we take sort of that approach to it. And I think that's sort of what gave us visibility into looking at it as waste farmers as Batch 64 to say, look, let's start this.
And, I was just waiting for my chance to be able to actually talk about that because, like I said, we've been using it for about a month and a half now. And you can tell that you come from an agricultural background. Every bag, so if you use cocoa and perlite mix.
Your fingernails, they're really dirty.
The overalls give it away.
But, I mean, no, you can tell the producers of the Batch 64, I should say, not even you specifically, but the producers of the Batch 64, you can tell come from agriculture because every bag is consistently the same. It doesn't come out all lumpy and soaking wet. I mean, every bag is consistent, and that consistency means a lot, especially when it comes to small batch cannabis and things of that nature. So when we go from using something that you have to regulate yourself, I mean, unless you're sitting there pouring out how many cups of perlite you're putting in each bag, which who does that in a setting where they don't have time for that? So the fact that you can open up a Batch 64 and know that I'm not going to find huge chunks of bark in it, or, I mean, I've found a Band-Aid in one of the brands.
No, you say that brand on this show.
Yeah, we can say that brand on the show.
Say that brand.
We found a Band-Aid in the Tupper at one point in time. So the fact that we can open up the Batch 64 is great. I mean, it really holds in the moisture really well too, but it lets you know when it's dry.
So how much percentage Band-Aid?
Love it, dude. It was a decent percentage of Band-Aid.
2.5.
Yeah.
We found Band-Aids in Tupper.
Band-Aids in Tupper, along with giant pieces of wood, essentially, like just pieces of wood that are in there. I mean,
garden gnomes. There were some garden gnomes.
A couple garden gnomes.
I thank you for saying that, and to Matt and to Jason and. To Jono and to Levi and to Neil and to Connor and to Emily and actually my mom too and to Steve. They're the ones that kind of make all this stuff happen. So thanks for saying that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that Band-Aid.
And if you're in Colorado,
hold on, wait. I just want to say on a quick note, Jeremy's trying to call in.
Oh, shit.
Okay, I'll hook it up.
Okay.
But you can get, I know for sure, like I said, if you're in Colorado, at least near the Boulder area, you can pick up Batch 64 at Grow Life, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Any other distributors that carry it?
Way to Grow
has it.
Pretty much any hydro store in the Front Range.
Awesome.
Wicked. And which mic you unplugging now?
The mic that nobody's using. I'm going to unplug your mic and I'm going to talk to
let's do Indo Expo. Chris, you want to hop on and talk Indo Expo while we're waiting for this?
Well, I'm going to take that mic off.
Oh, that's the mic you're
So
taking.
he's going to have to either hop over there and share that
JP,
mic.
you feel like sharing your seat, buddy?
I don't mind at all.
Or I take his mic away. Either one doesn't
You want
really
to take
matter.
JP's mic real
It
quick?
doesn't matter.
Cool.
Which
Is
mic
that
would you like me to steal?
Steal JP's. Chris, you stay where you are. Live production. Yeah, pass the
Whoa,
phones. Pass the
craziness.
phones. Yeah.
Just take the headphones.
Back to the Band-Aid story. Back to the Band-Aid story. So Doug went down to get breakfast one time at Barney's in Amsterdam, and ended up getting a Band-Aid in his hamburger or something like that. It was disgusting. It was like and then the guy just, classic Amsterdam style, did not give a fuck. He was just like, okay, whatever. It was like, there was no like, sorry, let me get you free food, get you whatever you want. It was like, pretty much puts a bad taste in your mouth officially.
I mean, quite literally would put a terrible taste in your mouth.
Crusty Irish dudes Band-Aids.
So why I'm getting this Skype set up, I have a funny story that happened this past week. So I was out at the beer garden in Boulder, just grabbing a couple beers with a coworker, and I met this guy that was drinking the same thing I was drinking, and we invited him back to the apartment afterwards to smoke a little bit. And he had not told us how unfrequently he smokes, and he essentially took one rip out of the bong. 10 minutes later was, as white can be, and threw up pretty much a puddle on.
It's called a whitey. Oh, there we go.
Pretty terrible.
Oh, right on time. Hello there.
Welcome to the Adam Dunn Show.
Hello.
Is that Jeremy?
Yep.
Silva, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Am I live or?
You're live as hell.
You're
All right.
hella live.
Got in, made it through.
As live as we get.
Yeah.
So, buddy, tell us about stuff you're playing with.
Right on. Well, everybody knows we work with the organic stuff, and a couple exciting things that are happening. Earlier in this year, we moved into our warehouse, and the goal was to start doing more of like a microbrew, small batch soil. I know that one of the guests that was on there was just talking about the consistency of soil and how important it is when we're doing small batch growing. And so this week we've actually got a specialty horticulture soil blending machine that makes 1 yard batches. And we weigh everything perfect, and we have a whole system in place where we can just drop down, and we're really going to get a big inventory full. And we've got truckloads of Ollie Mountain Fish compost coming tomorrow, truckload of gypsum today. Just a lot of exciting stuff happening right now.
Are you depleting mines yet?
No depleting mines yet. Just a stockpile of organic material that's breaking down. I'd like to start to get some of the compost operations set up out here to our liking. There's a couple compost facilities out here, but most of them aren't exactly what we want. Usually we see just manure and wood chips, and I want to have something a little bit more active. And as far as that horticultural soil mixing machine, it couldn't come at a better time. For the last 3 months, we've actually been hand blending every batch of soil that goes out. We've got a couple of guys pretty much just round the clock with rakes and shovels and specialty tools, using a big 300-gallon like corrugated, like a stainless steel trough that we clean out each time.
I love
and
that
so
word.
lately, we've been really proud of our soil because everything's been very exact. Where prior to us moving in here, we would make a big pile with tractors. And so I was losing sleep at night knowing that potentially one bag of soil might be different from the other, and now we're really proud to say that it's just exact. We know exactly what's in each bag, and we're really confident it's the best we've ever made. So
My favorite part
you
of
guys
that is
have
I
tried
know
it
you
in the
were
past. What's that?
I was going to say my favorite part is that I know you were literally losing sleep about that.
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah, no, I was, and it's driving me crazy. And we haven't had any major issues, but I had a couple customers where we questioned the amount of aeration and a few things with the tractor mixing it. And, a grow is such a big deal. It can affect your entire life, your entire budget, 6 months of time, however much you invest into it. The money, the reason why people at the Hydro Shop will spend so much on some of these bottles that have a recipe you can follow is because the opportunity cost of a failure is just, it's epic. And so most farmers, even when we're talking hundreds of acres, if we want to try something new, it's usually let's do one row, let's do one hole, and next year we'll talk about it.
Yeah, like let's try it out on
because
a
there's
light
too
4
much
plants.
risk. Exactly. And so I love to hear about people using Batch 64 and other operations going organic. I really think there needs to be a specialty, kind of like Colorado has a lot of specialty beer brewers and we just eat it up. I think there needs to be a lot of specialty soil makers in every state, keeping things local, setting up the infrastructure. And essentially that's really what we're about lately, is getting our soil just dialed in and perfect and making sure that everybody that gets a bag has a really good experience. And transition that over to the sub-irrigated planters, which have been kind of a hot topic in the PFA lately, and you've been seeing shown up on Instagram and a few other places.
Now, I got to say, Adam, you've been showing me sips for at least as long as I've known you.
Yes.
You have a deal
Yeah.
of experience with them, yeah. So it's not a new thing, is my point.
Yeah, it's not a new thing at all.
they're
It's
getting
just like
hot
we're
again.
seeing a resurgence. And I think
Sure.
this will happen again and again, meaning it's just once it hits a certain group and you realize how easy it is to start working with them. I mean, even myself, I had my doubts. I'm looking at it going, okay, it holds 15 gallons of soil in a regular earth box. How is that supposed to produce the level that I want? And my other question was, how is this going to work no matter what soil you put in there? How is this going to be better than going no-till? Meaning, am I going to have to dump the soil out of this sub-irrigated planter every time I use it? How does that work? And if you know Build a Soil, a lot of what we preach is about using high volumes of soil and creating an ecosystem so that you can just reuse it again and again and again without dumping it out, just top dressing. And so if you follow the PFA at all, there's a guy named Alan, and he's pretty much runs the PFA over there and set it up. He makes a product called Grow Kashi, and it is basically some beneficial microorganisms through EM1, and it's put into a dry bran. So you can inoculate your soil, and the way he uses these sub-irrigated planters is really simple. I mean, very simple. He puts in a mixture. It's almost like anybody could do it, and he puts in peat moss, perlite, little dolomite lime, and then that's pretty much all. He covers it with Grow Kashi. He puts the little sip plastic cover that covers the container so you don't lose water out of evaporation. And as the mycelium grows on the top of the soil from his Grow Kashi product, later on he'll pull the cover back and he'll layer compost over the top and recover it. And so essentially he's feeding through that mycelial web. And he's indicated that the mycelial food web would actually deliver the nutrients in the correct proportions and be a little bit more intelligent as opposed to just top dressing traditionally. So I'm experimenting with that right now, and I'm seeing good results, but we're using our full living soil, not just the peat and the perlite kind of deal. And so we just got a whole bunch of sips in stock, and we're about to put a kit together where it comes with our living soil in it and maybe a couple of other inoculants and things like that. But have you what's been your experience, Adam, with the sub-irrigated planters? Are you using 5 gallons, or when did you start doing that? I know there's a lot of...
I tried all different sizes. The little ones, I think, dry out too fast for our situation.
Yep.
The bigger ones kind of worked, and I was I was happy with them for a minute, but they did have... It's kind of like you have to change your thinking too much, and I did see, more of a... It was a little bit more critical. You have to be on... and it was weird because I'm so used to what I see from what I'm used to, and that when I was trying to look at it from the bottom to the top, I felt like I overdid it sometimes.
Yeah.
And they kind of and then I started, everyone's like, you got to put a pump in it, and then it's like, well, okay, if I got to put a pump in every fucking plant, then I'm a little bit over it now because it loses that whole organic edge which you're trying to break in the first place. And I did see some success, but I wasn't as impressed as I thought I was going to be. I was ready to bring it to Colorado, and because I like the idea of the water conservation side of it all. That was the whole deal that I thought was great. But at the end of the day, I kind of also feel that I want to water plants as much as possible because every time I'm watering them, I know that they're transpiring all that shit and it's going through the system and things are moving along. And if it gets kind of stagnant, that's kind of I have a hard time just looking at my plants hoping that something's happening. And I was I want to see some action. If it dries up in a day.
I'm the same way. Yeah, in fact, my first experiment with a sub-irrigated planter, I felt like I messed it up because I used a 15-gallon product by Ecosystems, and it was a lot bigger than the normal rectangle ones. And so I moistened my soil a little bit first, threw it in the container, planted a plant, and I filled up the reservoir in the bottom. Well, it took a month for the reservoir to even move. I totally overwatered. Everything was slow growth.
That's
and
what
like you said, there was a learning curve. I messed it up. And now what we're finding is with our soil with a lot of pumice and a lot of rice holes, using the rectangular one, I fill it up. I don't add any water. I let the plant grow for a few days, and then I fill the res up, and it seems like they just take off. But I'm right there with you. If I had to add air stones and all this stuff, I'd probably be out. And so when I gleaned from Alan about his method was he uses a little lactobacillus serum or maybe a little Grow Kashi. And all that does is it allows for an anaerobic environment not to go stale. And so you put a little bit of that in your res, and now you're not worried about that stagnant and some of the problems. So anybody that's trying the SIP thing, it's not like I want you to throw your whole garden in one, but if you're right there with me and you're experimenting, I'm going to be sharing photos on Instagram, and I'm trying to give this a good try. And I've seen some really good results. Now, here's where I'm looking at it. Alan's got a greenhouse, a hoop house, and he's got it full of these. Now, 15 gallons of soil is a lot less than a lot of people are using, but he's using it for a light depth. So he can move them with a little dolly really easily, and then he light depths his tent, and he's got like 6 and 8 foot tall trees growing out of these 15-gallon earth boxes. And so that's part of why I was pretty impressed. I wanted to try a little bit more with them.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, indoor to outdoor, I'm still a little confused about how I'm going to operate there. So
yeah, and it's also like compared to like smart pots right now for outdoor situations, it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to beat when you start going 200 and 400 gallons and 600 gallons.
Yep.
Like, how big is this thing going to get? What I've seen, which is interesting, is like if you grow like rental plants, you know what I mean, and you're going to have them in and out of places, and you're going to flip them, like make the place look great, and then you're going to pull them back and nurse them back to health, and then bring them back into the system again. That's kind of what those pots, like, I see them as the perfect use for, because they're not really like production shit, you know what I mean? Because you're going to run around and hit bottoms on. I mean, you would be able to do it, but you couldn't automate it ever. I mean, you'd have to literally run around and hand do it for the longest time, because unless you just come up with the perfect system for it. But then again, you're back to like a big system.
Yeah, designing systems and all these things. And I'm more of the simplicity. Hey, if all the soil is the same and I can use it everywhere, then it allows my system to be easier. It's just volume. How much are we going to put there? How are we going to design it? But I'm open. One of the things that I learned about when starting Build a Soil is that I'm going to talk to so many different growers in different situations that if I only have one solution that's exactly how I do it and that's the only way, I end up turning some growers off that may have moved towards organics. And I really liked you guys talking about organic certification. One of the things that your guest was talking about is how the percentage of people that are growing organic, they want to know exactly what's going into it. And so when I start telling, hey, a first-time grower, you're going to buy, however many gallons of soil times however many containers, it can be a little bit of an investment up front. And so for the guy growing a couple plants indoors with a small light, I looked at these SIPs as maybe a stair-step way to do less soil to start and kind of experiment with it. But
yeah,
at the end of the day,
don't hold as much.
Something I'm testing right now, and I've actually been pretty excited about the results. I just set up a little greenhouse from Harbor Freight, put it on my patio, and so I shut my veg room down and not burning electricity anymore. And I'm doing all my seedlings and starts out there and then bringing them back inside into my flower tent or finishing them outside. And so we'll see how that goes this season.
And you're on top of your IPM right now, I presume?
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a raised hand and we have a raised hand.
That doesn't mean interrupt conversation.
Yeah, it does mean interrupting.
But fine, I'll ask.
No, the bell means interrupt conversation.
I've been waiting for you guys to finish up what you guys are talking about, just because I have a quick question for Jeremy. So recently, I've been seeing a lot of people using cork in their cocoa mixture for aeration in place of perlite. There's actually a brand. I'm trying to think of what magazine I just saw it in. It might even have been. Oh man, what magazine was it? But it was a cocoa mix that essentially was cork. So instead
Corko?
of like cork. I guess I would assume like broken up pieces of cork mixed in with their cocoa, and I had never seen that before, and I was just curious if you had ever seen or heard anything like that.
No,
before.
I've never seen or heard of it. And I mean, right away, my alarm's like, whoa, it doesn't sound sustainable. I know the wine industry is going towards non-cork based on the whole thousands of years it takes
Unless
to create
it's
cork.
recycled wine cork.
Yeah, and that would be pretty cool. And realistically, there's no one way to do this. When we get into soil, I think every soil company should be based regionally a little bit and also have the ability to exchange different ingredients based on regional availability. And what I mean by that is as we grow, certain composts aren't available in bulk, certain products we got to really look into, and it's because we're using a lot of waste products where with salt, you can just push the button, make more of your specific ingredient. So the organics is a little limited, but what happens is as the organic grower gets educated, it's just like being a chef. I mean, you can go get the boxed stuff at home and go make a frozen lasagna or go make mac and cheese from the box. Or if you really educate yourself, heck, if you got eggs, you can make your own pasta, you can make your own cheese, you can take it as far as you want down that line.
Right.
You know?
Right. And it gives you a better base understanding of what you're actually working with and the true strengths and weaknesses of it. It's that artisanal thing we were just talking about.
It's the unsustainable brand of.
So talking about cork, I think Adam was able to find who is making the cork.
Yeah, so we
product.
pulled up who's making the cork product, and it's apparently it's formulated by Mills out of Amsterdam, but they're along with or co-branding with DNA
Genetics. And Mills pays the bills.
And it says made
Collaboration.
in Amsterdam. Made in
Unsustainable
Amsterdam.
cork.
Ultimate cocoa with cork, formulated by Mills, Amsterdam. So ready to use.
Now, what's the goal there? Because I'm just not a cocoa.
I
Like
believe
I'm not
the goal
a
there is
soilless
money.
guy. So like cocoa
If I
and
had to
cork.
guess, Jeremy, the goal
No, for
is
sure.
purely
But like
profit.
if it was just for me, and I'm thinking, okay, I've got an extra cork. I'm guessing just to add more aeration and be something really lightweight for shipping and all that stuff.
Or perhaps it's because somehow they have a cheap hookup on corks and a shredder.
Yeah, and it's
Right,
just,
and
they
cork is
found it worked.
probably
But-
cheaper than perlite because you don't have to go. I mean, I know that perlite's essentially just recycled glass, but still, cork is probably cheaper than perlite is.
Yeah, and perlite has to go through a factory, and like popcorn, they inject it with heat, and it pops open into those big kernels, and so that's part of why we're not using it. And the reason why the big soil companies use it is it's lighter weight. Freight is everything. If you could make a soil for $1 a bag, it would still be $10-15 at certain regions, depending on how far it is from you, just in freight. And so that's why if you live in Colorado and you hear people in California talking about $9 bags of Fox Farm, well, it's going to be a little more by the time it gets here. So it's really neat to see Colorado soil companies popping up because now instead of shipping things 3 times, like from Canada to California to Colorado, as we grow, we're able to get stuff direct and cut out a lot of that fuel, cut out a lot of that freight. And so that's why we just started stepping up this season and getting truckloads instead of pallets of certain amendments. And so now we'll be a distribution resource for a lot of these different products. But more of that's coming. Some of the stuff I'm excited about right now, we were talking about IPM. I saw a couple people didn't like neem, and that's pretty much always the case. But I think someone on there mentioned it, as long as you're not using it after veg and as long as you're using a quality product, we haven't seen any effect on oil. Although we do see people that don't care spray azadirachtin, spray neem all late through flower, don't use it properly, and it definitely gives it a bad name. But for those that don't want to worry about proper emulsification, getting the water the right temperature, I've been looking at this product called Big Time Exterminator for a little while. I'm sure a lot of you guys had heard about it. I avoided wanting to carry it for a while just because I didn't know what was in it, how it would work, and I knew that what I was really using, like the neem and the potassium silicate, already was working, especially as a preventative. But then I had a buddy get some hemp russet mites, and it was a couple weeks into flower, and I thought, man, I don't know if I want to tell him to take some of our neem oil home right now. And I had a sample of this from Sherman, and so I thought, all right, let's try it. Let's see what happens. And I followed the dosage. We actually did it a little strong the first time. Plants reacted a little bit. And then after that, we noticed they were just banging back out with health. So we started doing some inspections under the scope and couldn't find any more. And maybe we found a couple, but we're talking plants that were like gold on the new growth because they had so many russets. And I washed my clothes afterwards. I was freaked it was going to get in my garden. But after going through a few applications, definitely worked. Now, I have limited experience. I don't know if it works on everything, but the fact that it's mostly water with some active ingredient, talk to the owner or talk to a distributor, and it's basically a chitinase enzyme, kind of like the enzyme carpet cleaners. This has the enzyme that actually eats the bug skeleton, and it works better, I think, on the younger, the babies and all that.
Right.
You guys have any experience with this Big Time
I was talking to
Exterminator?
a buddy who just tried it based on, Elite Organic Supply. Our other new sponsor is carrying it. And
Perfect.
The one you were just remembered?
yeah, exactly. That's why I was going to give him a shout.
Yeah, well, in fact, I'm doing a little bit of work with them. And
Yeah, no, you're working with
Mitchie
him.
and
I was
talked
using that
about
as a
and-
segue. Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
That's
and
why it's
actually, he's
okay.
been really, really good to work with.
Yeah.
Basically everything he said he's going to do, totally followed through on. It's been a pleasure to work with him, and so I didn't know they were carrying this, but we just got it on the shelves. It's another PFA sort of approved brand in the sense that we feel it's safe, and so I was like, why am I not carrying this? Called, got it on the shelves, happy to have it. So if anyone's looking for something that might be pest management-wise, wants to keep it natural without spraying a lot of gunky stuff on their plants, this is one that I'm definitely testing a lot right now and open to. We've got it on buildasoil.com. Of course, you can get it in other places. You'll probably start seeing it showing up in your shops. Our retail location here in Montrose, Colorado is finally opening this week. We had a little bit of some computer issues getting all the pricing done, but we'll have it here.
You're live?
The other thing...
This weekend, you said?
Hopefully by next week. We're doing all the pricing right now.
So
we got
we need to
truckloads
go
of
out
stuff showing
and do
up.
a show from Build a Soil.
That'd be epic. That'd be epic. Yep. I'll get the air conditioning working better by the time you guys get here. I see you're having the same issue.
Yeah.
Right on. Another product I wanted to mention, just while we're talking about new stuff Build a Soil is doing, there is a grower in Grand Junction that is, he's a younger grower. and he's got a lot of scientific knowledge, is the way I would put it, meaning he reads a lot. He translates a lot of this information from white papers and really shows some of us the connections. And I learned a couple different ways. I learned either by growers that have been doing it so long, they just can kind of show me, or I learned from doing it myself, or I'll learn from reading white papers. And the challenge with those is you have to put it into practice yourself. There's a lot of misinformation out there. Mm-hmm. And so after talking to this gentleman, he came out with a product called Modern Microbes. And I got really excited about it because when Build a Soil goes to buy a product, usually we read the ingredients list and go, if that wasn't in there, I'd be calling them. You know, there's usually a few ingredients that just kind of kill the deal for us. They're synthetic or they're toxic. And so this is just a microbial inoculant, and I've been looking at it, and it's got all of the different types of spores that I was looking into. And where this started is I got a call from the county of Montrose looking to convert some of their turf, some of their grass for the public into organic. Oh. And I thought that was really cool because right now they're putting 20,000 pounds of synthetic fertilizers on the grass, and it's going into the river that I'm kayaking on and swimming in and fishing in.
That's terrible.
And so I started looking, and it looks like the golf course industry, a lot of these turf companies, they really heavily rely on nitrogen-fixing bacteria and some of the other microbes that are there. And so it was just serendipitous. I was about to buy some azospirillum. You guys have probably heard of Azos. It's an inoculant for cannabis, or at least sold in the hydro shops. And there's a couple different spore types of Azos, but in any case, this one has all those, the nitrogen-fixing bacteria. It has PK and silicon solubizing bacteria. It has some mycorrhizae, other beneficial bacteria, fungal strains, and a little bit of a organic kelp ferment evaporate, and humic and fulvic acid. And so overall, this has been a great go-to. We're probably going to start inoculating some of our soil. We've been just testing with it, and the results seem like they're associating with our plants and are actually providing some results. So we've got this live. It's something that I'm just testing, but I'm really confident it's going to be a big product as it comes forward. So
and that's the Modern
Microbes.
Microbes.
You got any questions about that? Yeah, it's called Modern Microbes, and it's another Colorado-based product. The grower is based out of Grand Junction, and it's not just a big company. It's a grower that started this for us because he couldn't find a product with all the stuff he wanted in it, meaning there was usually some other cheap bacteria that was the bulk percentage. And so you can compare this to a lot of your other microbe products, but I would say this is the one that is more like Build a Soil would make if we had the time to actually go research every single spore and put them all together.
It sounds so much. It's funny because that's that's exactly the Build a Soil deal. Like you started Build a Soil because you were just trying to cover your own soil, and then it grew and grew and grew.
So
well, like for instance, mycorrhizae, they add it to all the soil, but I feel like it dies once it's in the soil. It's best to apply directly to the roots. And so we seeked out the right mycorrhizae. So same thing with this company. It looks like they went and found all the right ingredients and put them together.
So if I was using, or if I am using an Azos in my tea, you'd say it'd be safe to switch and use this, and it would have more of the beneficial microbes than the Azos would.
Well, an Azos is... Now, I don't know exactly what's in Azos. I believe it's just Azos, which is azospirillum. Now, this has azospirillum lipoferum as well as brasilensis and a couple of others. So this covers a little bit more diverse range. Now, I'm saying that, but obviously I didn't design Azos, and I'm not 100% sure what's in there. So I don't want to step out of my lane. All I know is that I was researching and saying, okay, if I'm going to go to turf, I got to buy this at like golf course packages, not these little packages. Yeah. So I started calling the bacterial producers. Found out some really cool stuff. It's very effective, and I don't know why we haven't been using it more indoors, but the challenge is if you're going to use this and you're going to use lots of nitrogen, you're just wasting your money. So the goal here is to use a living soil and not have to add so much input continually. And so this is how nature works. That's not like anybody goes out there and dumps compost on the farm every year. It just falls a few leaves. You have the worms, you have the bacteria, and all of these you'd find naturally occurring. It's just that when we make a potting soil, sometimes we don't have these in there. And so now we can re-inoculate. And what I like about this is a guy could buy a bag and just inoculate once and at least be better off than wanting this starting. And then some people will do a continual inoculation, foliar sprays, all sorts of stuff because they really want to maximize the impact.
So what else you got going? You got the SIP project. You got obviously the new batch soil mixing. You've got the Modern Microbes.
Yep. The batch soil mixing I'm really excited about. We'll be putting videos up. Essentially, we wanted, like if you're going to start a bakery, pretty soon you can only make so many loaves of sourdough by hand. but you want to keep the quality there. And so we really went and found the best mixture we can to keep the quality really consistent. So I'll do some videos on that, upload as that comes in next week. Another thing that we've got going on is we're getting a truckload of Ollie Mountain fish compost in the morning. So we'll have 45,000 pounds on the ground, and essentially that's finally going to put us in a position where we can make this product affordable in Colorado. Before, it cost us $15 a bag just to get here before we even marked it up for sale. And so I'll be making some announcements online, lowering the price and letting people see what that looks like. And of course, if anybody, whether they want to carry it in their retail store by the pallet or whether they just want to pick it up, we got bulk pricing available by the pallet with flat rate delivery fees in Colorado for Ollie Mountain fish compost. Also, anybody out there looking for basalt or gypsum, we've got tens of thousands of pounds on the ground at really low prices right now.
Do you want to educate people on the Ollie Mountain fish compost and the difference between it and maybe some other fish hydrolysate they've seen in a bottle? And
Okay, yeah, certainly. Basically, the Ollie Mountain fish compost was started. There's a company called North Mason Fiber Company, and they're out of the Washington area, Pacific Northwest. And they had a fiber company, so they started working with hardwoods and all these different things, and they had a compost. They've been making it for a long time. It's one of the most popular in the area. A gentleman that introduced me to living organic soil was on the forums known as Gascanistan, and in the seed world as the Swami Kushandes. In any case, Gascanistan, he had access to the Ollie Mountain fish compost, and his grows always looked good. That's what he used. Coots said it was a good compost, and so I thought, all right, I'm going to get some. And I ordered some of that, and I ordered some of the Malibu biodynamic compost, and both are probably the two most popular composts on the market. The difference is that the Malibu has a little bit more control of their input because they know exactly what's going in, and they make it in a very short period of time using biodynamic inputs and manure. And I think it's a great product. Alan uses it because of the biomimicry. It allows, like a cow would be going to the, taking a crap out in the prairie, and that would fertilize the ground. That's similar. Well, the Ollie Mountain is a little different. It's a lot of grasses and leaves and trees, and what they do is they actually put hard wood in there, like apple, a lot of these other woods that take a couple years to break down. And the reason that's good is it has a high lignin content in the hardwood, and so it adds to more of a humic property. Mm-hmm. And they also add whole, huge, big fish that are wild caught in the clean waters off Alaska.
Whole big fish, just shove them in
when
there.
When they put whole fish in it, and they put the hardwood, and they put the leaves and grass, it turns into a dark, beautiful, rich compost that looks like castings, and it's really dark. And for whatever reason, it's the magic. When we switch compost in our soil recipe, it doesn't work as well. When we use a local one, something's up. When I put this compost with the worm power in our soil recipe, everything works perfect every time. And so we stopped changing things. We just decided to buy truckloads, put this in our soil recipe, and really make it work. And so for those that are making their own soil, or for those that just want to try a compost tea, I would recommend grabbing a bag. It's one of those few things, if a customer's in the store and they're having a little issue with a plant or something that needs to be bounced back to health, I know without a doubt if they put some of the Ollie Mountain as a top dress, it's going to fix what the problem is without burning it. So
that's a good thing. We like that.
That's what compost is supposed to do.
That's what it's supposed to do, but it's hard to find that good compost locally a lot of times. So.
For sure.
And it's awesome that you're getting it by the truckload, so it's obviously still alive when you're getting it. That's what I think so much about compost.
Yes, it's not sitting outdoors. It's not sitting in the sun. It's bagged fresh for us, and it's brought indoors and stored indoors the entire time in a temperature-controlled area. So part of what we're doing is we're changing store it all outside, who cares what happens to it, and we're treating this like food-grade ingredients and like we're sending them to restaurants. We want you to make your soil as if it was a perfect recipe. So.
No, it's cool. Yep, exactly like the dough idea is a good one because, that's what kills people right there. If they own a shop and they do good, all of a sudden they're like a victim of their own success because they have to get up earlier and earlier and buy bigger equipment and more space, and kind of peaks out at a certain point. So if you can farm it out to the right person who can back it up and keep everybody happy, but everybody will notice it real quickly if you do it wrong. You know what I mean? It's that classic thing where
really quick
you have to do it perfect. Because
and that being said, since we're going to have this horticultural mixing machine and we're going to be running it all day, my goal was to wait to buy that until our guys were maxed out on hours and were getting tired from spinning the shovels all day. because I didn't want to replace their hours with a machine. And so now we're confident we have enough hours and enough soil orders where we can keep them busy running the machine all day.
Yeah.
That being said, I would love it if anybody out there says, hey, I live in Colorado. I've got this soil recipe. I want you to make it perfect and bag it and send it to my house.
No, that's exactly what I'm
We'll
going
be
to do.
we'll be open to that as well, and we've got a lot of ingredients on the ground, and we're open to mixing really anything you want. So.
And that's what you're doing with Elite, right? You're mixing their blend, custom blending.
Yeah,
custom
we mixed
bagging?
their
Yeah.
we mixed in their custom
love
blend. We did everything, and with Elite, they're doing it right, and so we've got the ability to get some 75-foot trucks out there and make sure that things go smoothly. And now, when it comes down to that, we're basically just doing logistics, and it gets weird when you're starting to calculate gallons and cubic feet and size holes and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, it just needs to work. And so it's been really good working with them, but soil can get a little crazy at this time of year.
Yeah, man. And so it's amazing, though. Like, I knew you would do that for Elite, for a huge operation with more holes than, I've ever seen
3,000, right?
But you'll do that for, like, hey, I'm looking for a bag of soil. Can you custom mix a bag?
No.
Yeah, I mean, right now we don't have the time to do one bag of soil for a specific recipe. I mean, truth be told, if the guy got a hold of me and he was sounding cool, I'd probably make him one bag of soil. And it's just how it works. But I'm trying to allocate my time better. As we get larger, I have to be more efficient. So if somebody wants to get like a pallet of soil, I'd be happy to custom blend. One of the things we'll be doing in the future is Build a Soil's behind in the sense that we've been putting soil out everywhere, but I don't even have a logo on the bag. Like, I don't have labels for it.
That's the
and
best
so we're working on
I was going to say, that's the best
right?
of course.
And so it's just we put the soil first, and it's so funny because I got people that want us to design a soil, and they have the whole logo ready, the whole everything, and they're like, now what should I put in it? I'm like, man, you guys got it so backwards. You don't care what's in the soil, you just have the marketing done.
Nah, dude.
We just have the soil and no marketing. So.
I would do your regular white bags and then throw it in a burlap sack. Like, it should ship in a burlap
I really
sack.
want to do burlap sacks. I was just trying to think of a way to do just burlap and have like a return system where you get like a redemption value at Build a Soil for sending them back for your next order.
That would be awesome.
Spread your
All right,
disease
well.
back to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring all your diseases back to me, please.
One of the things we're thinking about doing for next year, maybe you could tell me if this would be a good idea, is the 100-gallon and 200-gallon geopods fit pretty well on a pallet. So I could fill them with soil, wrap them on a pallet, just have it delivered, and you could just set the pallet wherever and put a plant into it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Or scoop
That's
it out,
awesome.
solid.
or scoop it out and put smaller ones if you want. It's up to you.
Yeah, but at least a container is a geopod as opposed to a plastic bag you
bag,
throw away.
yeah.
So I'm just trying to find ways to cut back on waste. Now, we reuse these white bags over and over, but still, I hate shipping plastic everywhere. Our goal when we started Build a Soil is, hey, we put it in the mail. Well, the mail truck's already on your street every day, going to your mailbox. So it was just a way to make a streamline where instead of you driving in your car to 20 different places around town, for me, I got to drive an hour just to get to a big shop. Just go online and your mailman will bring it to you. But now that we're doing truckloads, we're trying to find a way to cut back.
Mailman love it when you
in
order
fact,
soil. Like, yeah, asshole.
I ordered
soil.
a hat and a shirt from the Hoodlam, and I was really impressed. I got some Dr. Bronner soaps, which I love using in my garden, and I also got the peanuts that came in it. Look like they're the compostable peanuts.
Right.
And I was playing with those, and I was like, these are really
Packing
cool.
peanuts.
If you get them wet, they start to dissolve, the packing peanuts.
Yeah.
And so we're actually moving towards those based on what we saw with the Hoodlam.
Nice.
So
There you go.
good looking
Saving
out
the
on that.
world. Saving the world.
Yep.
That's-
One bag of soil at a time.
At first, I was like, when did Hoodlam start coming with peanuts?
I know that's what you're thinking. That's what
Nah, the
then,
shipping
I sat and
peanuts.
thought
But
about
my
it.
hat
I
is
was like,
epic.
yeah.
I love the hat.
Jeremy, buddy, we're all off kilter today, as you know. So we're gonna keep it rolling in a minute here and move on to the rest of the show. But tell people what you got for them. I know you were maybe working on a little write up for people, or had some promo on any of the new stuff.
Yeah, and it's been crazy. We had a whole bunch of truckloads show up early this morning, and I've been running the forklift, and so I didn't get a
Are you
write up like I
certified
wanted
to do that, or you just do that?
I am. I'm actually a certified instructor as well.
Really? So you could teach us how to
Yeah.
drive forklifts, and then we would
So
be
I can teach my
certified.
employees how to do it, exactly. Then they would be certified. And so the problem is our forklift, as a small business owner, I got the cheapest forklift I could find. And safety-wise, I'm kind of the only one running it right now until we get a better one.
Gotcha.
Yep.
You know
but,
all the kinks, and you
what-
know, like, you got to kind of wiggle it to the left and then... pull
Yeah,
it from the
exactly where the kinks are at. If you've run a hoop tube before, it's like, hey, nobody can drive it because they'll blow something. But at the end of the day, it's working really well right now, and it's just it's an old Caterpillar. But I want to tell you about the discount code we made for today as a way to kind of share something with the guests. And here's what happened. I'm dealing with Worm Power. You guys know that we like their vermicompost, the worm castings. And we got a shipment in of their worm compost extract. And they had a scientist they work with and all this stuff. I'm trying to figure out if it's for real. It seems to have a positive reaction on our plants. It's basically a compost tea that's shelf-stable for about 5 months. And it's not really an aerated tea. It is the growth hormones, it's rainwater through the worm bins, and it's all of the bacteria that come with it.
So now this
and
is
so
interesting. This is the worm leachate, yeah?
It's the worm leachate, basically, but it's from an industrial scale, and so it's not like leachate in your bottom of your plastic bin. It's like thousands of gallons of rainwater that they're using to keep the moisture in the bin, and so there's going to be runoff. And being that they don't want to waste the runoff, they collect it, and of course it's a profit opportunity, so they sell it. Well, we've got these big, huge caged totes of it that we were using as a promotional to test out here and to do some inoculation of biochar and some other things we're playing with. So what I wanted to do is give away some for free. You got to pay for the shipping, but we've got 1 gallon containers. They're normally like $20 or something for a gallon of this, and you use it on seedlings, full strength. It's a great way to inoculate a new soil. And we're going to give it away if you use the Adam Dunn Show code ADS420. And that product is called the Worm Power Extract, and it's a 1 gallon bottle. And so if you go there,
just pick up that product in the store and then use.
Yep, you don't have to buy anything else. I mean, obviously it'd be cool if you added something else to your cart while you're there. But all you're going to do is go there, put in ADS420, and it'll take $20 right off. It'll say zero balance, and then it'll charge you for your shipping. So if you live in Colorado, it won't be much. If you live far away, it's like 8 pounds, so it might cost 10, 12, 15 bucks, something like that. But at the end of the day, I figured it'd be a good way for you guys to try it and to mess around with it like I am right now. And so that code will work right now. The other thing that I wanted to do is I wanted people to try our hand-mixed soil that we've been really on the quality control for the last couple months. So if you've tried our soil in the past, if you want to try it again, what I'd like to do is offer you a code called ADS420 SOIL, all capitals.
Boom.
And that one is going to give you a discount off of our living organic soil. And the discount for that is 20% off our soil right now.
And
that's only going to be valid for 2 weeks. That's the Coot soil. It has everything in it. It has Ollie Mountain Fish compost, worm power. Now, one of our differentiating factors compared to any of the other soil products out there is that we actually tell you exactly how much of each ingredient is in there so you can make it on your own. And so the recipe's on our website. If you want to go to buildasoil.com and just scroll down, you'll see Living Organic Soil is one of the first products. And you can click on it. And if you add it to your cart, no matter what quantity, you'll get 20% off if you use code ADS420 SOIL in all caps. Now, these won't work together, so if you want to get both, you'll just have to do the worm power on a separate order, the extract. And you'll get that for free, pay for shipping. And then you can go back and get soil and whatever else you want. Use that ADS420 soil combo, and you'll get 20% off. So great deal right now. I really want to get our soil out there because it's the best it's ever been. I'm popping seedlings in it, and they're just jumping out of it, clones into it, full plants. And so
Adam's using the code right now.
Yep.
I'm ready. I'm ready to try it this time, for sure.
I'm ready to try it this time.
No, I am, because I've been like, it's hard to get people off their recipes.
Now think about this. If you guys go on there and you start using a whole bunch of these coupon codes, that means that local people here in Montrose are going to show up to our facility, and they're going to get more hours than they've ever had. And they're going to be working, getting a great workout, sweating, and putting their heart and soul into the soil, mixing with shovels just for you.
Nice.
And we're going to get that mixing machine next week, and then still we're going to hand carry it, hand weigh everything, put it in the mixing, and then use the bagging machine to make it a little faster. But you're basically employing local people here in Colorado, and we're really proud of it. So
that sounds good. We like that. Quick question, last one from Mitch, because Mitch put out a little post that caused turmoil in the mathematical world of stoners, because for some reason people couldn't agree on how many grams were in a pound. Can you tell us, as a pretty well, as a knowledgeable guy who's throwing a lot of pounds of amendments around and things, and we have to weigh stuff pretty accurately.
How many grams in a pound, Jeremy?
How many grams in a pound?
how many grams in a pound? Geez, I always just said 454, but I don't know.
That's what we're talking about. All right, that's good.
So here's what I've realized. The threshold is if you're under 25, it's 448 every time.
Everybody's
okay, so
that is true.
You have to be more specific. So I know that a pound is 453.5 grams or whatever it is. Yeah. But when
I'm using Google Chrome right now,
when it comes to certain things,
What are you weighing in troy ounces?
Things would get
Fuck
weighed out in 448 because that was the standard.
No.
However,
It's a chisel standard.
it's
That's
not
the
like
guy who loves,
don't
That's
know
the guy who loves to take 6
that
grams
a
home.
pound weighs
That's a
400.
Jersey pound. That's what Kyle and I called that. That's a Jersey pound.
That's an anywhere pound outside of people
Well,
weighing
the
actual
reason why they're
pounds.
doing it is 16 times 28. That's why
Right.
you're getting the 448 number.
Right? No, I know.
Yeah,
We know where the
we
math
understand-
comes
we
from.
got the idea,
Yeah.
but it's just also it's
Yeah.
just the idea that you can just lose this little bit. But
Well, it's crazy because it's supposed to be 28.6 or whatever, right? Something a little above. So then
28.35,
you do it.
3.5.
Yeah, so you do it 16 times, and of course you lose a little chunk. Now, same thing happened here. We got coconut freeze-dried powder, aloe powder. We got a clean room where we pack it in, and I'm like, when we first started the company, you got a picture of me in my kitchen doing this, and I would just weigh out a little bag at a time. Well, I get to the bottom, and I'd reorder. First time we got a little busier, I said, okay, you're going to take these 100 kilos and bag them all today. Well, at the end of the day, I went, holy crap, where'd 10 bags go? Oh, percentage of waste.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm losing more money than I thought.
oh yeah, and if you're doing it individually,
So-
you're losing that even more because every time you do it, you're doing worse than if you
Every
just do it
time you're
one
pulling
time.
all the stuff out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I had it with,
So
I had-
it's
we,
just
we had it with hemp
learning.
material for years. We would like do rolls and give everybody a little smidge here and a little smidge there, and and those smidges added up real quick. And then at the end of the day, we were like, man, we just lost like a whole roll. Pay up, boy. So
Yep, it's crazy, and I think that a lot of us that grew up in this community is it's to pay it forward. If you have herb, you share it with everybody. You pass it around the circle. You roll a fat one, and it just comes back around. And if you have that positive mentality, it's always in your life. So when I started working with soil, I'd give extra soil away, give extra this. I'd be putting extra bags on the pallet, do whatever I can, and it's crazy because at a certain point, you have to start making sure the business is going to keep running, and just being the owner for the
Luckily-
first time, you want to act all tough and give it all away, but it doesn't work that way. So.
sure. Luckily, like a bag of soil, you shouldn't knock you down too bad compared to
But
like some other.
good news is, if you know us, you get 20% off on the soil, and you get the worm leachate for free. That's what I'm saying.
Yep. And that's for 2 weeks. So I know
Both of them?
a lot of people
Both
I
of them
still
2
get
weeks
asking
only?
about a certain, about just because I want to have a little bit of a time sensitivity. We're not going to have that worm leachate forever, and the soil, as we get our mixing machine, we're going to ramp up and start to get into wholesale. We want to get in a shop near you so you don't have to pay for shipping and all that stuff. But for now, I'm so excited about the quality from us making it by hand and really taking control since we moved into this warehouse that I just wanted to do 20% off. If you've tried it, if you haven't, grab a bag. I think you'll be really impressed right now.
That's awesome.
I'm looking
And then
forward.
that Oli fish compost is going to be in, and whether you usually buy it or not, get
Yep.
that shit.
Yep.
And of course the modern microbes all day.
Yep, Modern Microbes, new product, something that if you've got a fresh soil, you want to inoculate it, get it ramped up to life. It's just a way to have control. Now, I've talked about these liquid microbe products in the past. I'm not a huge fan, but this is a dry powder, and I'm a really big fan of it. So,
Sweet.
Right on, brother. Thank you as always for dropping the knowledge, teaching us all a
the
little
kid just
everything,
exploded over there. His head it blew up.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
and of course for hooking it up.
that's how I like to exit. It's
Yeah.
an explosion.
There you go.
like
Right on,
scanners,
dude.
like
We gotta
scanners,
go-
Hey.
dude.
Come out here to this side of the range sometime soon.
I'm
brother.
going to.
fix
Let's
that
plan it
mic.
because I'm willing to make the drive
Clutch.
now, especially once we get out of spring. I'll have a lot more flexibility there. So,
Beautiful. All right, man. Well, we'll see you soon, man. And good luck. Congratulations with all the growth, and we'll put out the word. Get you shipping
yeah,
some soil.
literally, you guys are one of the biggest part of our business. I really, really appreciate all you guys.
Well, we really appreciate you, buddy. Talk
All right,
soon.
bye.
Peace. Wow.
Wow.
That was Jeremy Silva of Build the Soil. Let's take this opportunity to also do the other shout outs, then let's take her
Bam,
through.
Boom, bam, bang, pow.
Yeah. Of course, big shout out to Way to Grow. If you're in Colorado, you need a grow store, you need some supplies, equipment, whatever you may need. You need some information, you're not in Colorado, go to waytogrow.net.
Yes.
Way to grow, way to grow, way to grow. They have supported the Adam Dunn Show, and they'll hook you up if you bike just hit the wall.
But how he already hit the wall earlier.
No, I'm here. I'm fully here.
Oh no, he hit the
Your
wall.
eyes look hooded.
Oh yeah, and I saw it.
Nope, I had a nice jerk wrap. I'm powered up and ready to go.
Yeah, see, that's Peppa Pig. Keep the show.
Powered by jerk.
Sure crap. That's why you were fading on me.
And I'm being cool. I'm not being an
He's
ass.
just chilling
Jerk.
out. So, yeah, I mean, big shout out to Way to Grow. If you haven't checked them out, just go to waytogrow.net. Do it for us. Similarly, with the Elite Organic Supply, I hear you guys are flooding the place with phone calls and requests and in-person appearances at the Loveland store to get P-Bud's autograph and a fuzzy sticker that says P-Bud, which is pretty cool.
He has fuzzy stickers though.
Yeah, they say P-Bud. They're fuzzy. They're real cool. They're like high-quality stickers. They're free. Just go to Elite Organic Supply.
Nice.
Check them out. I've been there a few times in the past week just on random stuff. They sell all the Mary's products at a really good price. So if you want to put a patch on your taint, go holler at Peabody. Say, Peabody, I want to put a patch on my taint.
Hey, yeah, shit works, right? It's hard to get off, though.
Not.
No pun intended.
Shit works.
No. That's hard to get off. Killing it. Of course, big shout out to AU Extracts moving here to Denver soon, setting up greenhouses, I hear. Big deal operations. Maybe a little breeding? Did I hear,
yeah.
Did I hear whispers about breeding? Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Going big. AU Extracts. Know the name. Be ready now. You know what? You want a free AU Extracts t-shirt? Find Kyle Henderson. He's got about 800 of them, and he'll hook you up.
Yeah, right. Blow up at The Real Incredibles Instagram and just tell him you want AU Extract shirts. It goes to his personal phone, so it's gonna
perfect.
Be
or, you know what? Ryan lives with him, so you can actually just harass Ryan about that.
No, don't harass me at all.
I mean,
Speaking of
it's
harassing us for stuff, listen.
Nobody jumped for that last thing you guys did last week.
Nobody did it. You guys are cowards.
I can't believe
It's
that.
because,
Cowards.
Mitch, prank calls went out with the 90s, bro.
All right, what's the modern equivalent? Online trolling?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
That's screenshot.
Trolling
Gonna give him
screenshot?
another shot to
Yes.
do a troll with the screenshot?
Yes.
Yeah, run.
Here it is,
It's like more
guys.
like it's like kicking the door and running kind of deal. It's not even like you did.
Kicking the door. We used to ring the doorbell. Shit. Yeah, I think a troll, like a troll of who, though? Mitch.
What's
A
that?
troll of who hitting the wall?
A troll of what? Who to what?
Who do we want them to troll, Mitch?
We want them to troll these motherfuckers, K-Bud.
Okay.
Hold on, we'll Google them. That's what they're called, right? It's K-Bud smoking 94.1.
Correct, yeah, that's right.
Killer.
Killer. K-Bud smoking 94.1. Listen.
Hey, listen
Listen.
over here, tough guy.
Smoking941.com.
Whoever posts the funniest thing on their Facebook page to
I mean,
make them look silly.
whatever, something good,
What-
something.
yeah,
like
it's-
just show us that some attempt.
Troll
Something
them.
instead. I mean, recording a phone call isn't the easiest thing to do.
Okay. Look at their website. This is ridiculous. This is
Remind
literally-
them what the prize is before you.
Yeah, let me go back to that.
Wasn't it some seeds?
Scott Reach came here with a bag of Banana OG crossed with Rare Dankness 2. Never to be made again, never been made before. Limited drop Rare Dankness gear. And he said, do whatever you want with them. And we said, well, we're definitely keeping at least half of these, but we'll let some of these out
To
in
start a
10
seed
packs.
company with.
Right. Right. So listen,
Yeah.
you guys want some exclusive beans, all you got to do, smoking941.com, figure out how you're going to troll them. Troll them on Facebook, troll them, troll them, and send us screenshot to info@adamdunshow.com. If you're waiting on your giveaway,
No, stop.
if you're waiting on a giveaway,
Thinks of moving his bike.
if you're waiting on a giveaway, the kid's bike's getting towed.
Kid's bike's getting towed.
If you're waiting on a giveaway of the Dave Richards beans, we're compiling that today. If you're waiting on a giveaway of the Dark Horse beans, that should have already been taken care of. Hit us back again.
All of our failures.
All of our no, we're fulfilling. And Adam, if you didn't send out the CB scientific test, I don't even know if those are still good.
What do you mean no good?
Are they still good?
Of course they're good.
What do you mean they're good?
Good.
Hey, what was that? What was that dab, Adam? By the way, holy shit!
It was the Warlock and the El Diablo.
I feel like we're missing a shout out here again.
You remembered last time or something?
No. There's not. Incredibles Edibles. Colorado's number
Alright,
one
well.
edibles company.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's probably the most obvious one we missed.
We just didn't have him list off the flavors this time. That was
No, he can't do it. He can't. He'll fail.
He's not here. His bike got towed.
His bike's getting towed. His brain is frazzled right now.
do you
Bike.
think- do you
he
think
heard
he-
the words bike and
Do you think he
move.
bought a stolen bike from his friends in the motorcycle club?
Really? And it's gonna come out now. Like, yo, this bike is stolen.
Oh, that would be good.
Oh, my
That
God.
would be good. But big shout out to Incredibles Edibles. I've been selling a lot of those affogato bars. I've been eating a bunch of those affogato bars. I think they're good for you.
They just
Not
want
your
you to
bike?
move. It was your bike?
Scared.
I needed you to.
Was it not his? It's not his?
No, it was, but it was just in the way. He said it was
Who we got calling in?
Who's calling?
You want to answer it?
Sure, we'll see what it is.
Oh, maybe they want to do something in this contest. They're gonna call her right now.
Yo, caller. What's going on?
Who we got here?
Yo, hello?
Hello.
Adam Dunn Show?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right. I wanted to say I'm working on the project Mayhem right now. I'm at the dry cleaners right now. The ladies are gone for the day, but I have Adam Dunn Show flag and the Adam Dunn Show logo in suits, dresses, polos, jackets, shorts.
Sick.
Where do I send the pictures to?
You're going to send those to info@adamdunshow.com.
Damn, that's
and we're going to send
shit.
you like an awesome party pack of shit.
Oh my god!
Hey, I
heard about this. I heard about this.
Did you guys all see the wedding dress? You did the wedding dress, right?
Yeah, I have that picture on the Facebook. That's
Yeah,
the
I
first
did
one
see that.
put up.
I heard about
Cheesecake Lady.
it. I haven't seen it yet. That's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so we have several dresses that are going out this week, and each dress has a little Adam Dunn Show logo somewhere in the box, so they'll all see it.
Excellent.
So we need to talk. So yeah, we need to do a lot of wedding shout-outs just to kind of random.
Yeah, and I'm going to just say this. Listen, if anyone asks about it and they're interested, we will do that. If you find an Adam Dunn Show logo in your thing, you just pay the airfare and the lodging, and we'll do the Adam Dunn Show live from your wedding.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to charge you for it. Usually
Usually
that would
big
be a
money.
paid booking.
Usually it'd be huge, but yeah, we'll bring
But
all
this,
the.
you just
we'll bring
fly
the
us out
craziness.
there.
We'll
We'll
bring
rent
it.
our own tuxes.
Yeah.
And we'll do the show live from your wedding. So that's the next phase of this Project Mayhem.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Also want to let you guys know that I'm hit at the local campuses around here. There's a university right by my house, and all the stop signs on the opposite side have a large Adam Dunn Show flag on each side. So when you're at the four-way stop, you see Adam Dunn Show from all four corners.
So it's like
Someone
an
send you that
anti-Adam
picture
Dunn
as
show.
well.
They stop the Adam Dunn show.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, the wrong. Oh shit, the wrong message.
Put them on the go, the green lights.
Everyone's thinking they're trying to stop it. No, I love that.
We like it. We like it. Send don't necessarily document too much evidence of this.
No,
but
please document. No, it's awesome.
Yeah, send it all to Adam.
What's funny is you see how we're wearing the same shirts today. It's kind of awesome because
it's our show.
We look like we actually called each other like sure.
Pretty bunched out.
But when I was in New York, the one thing I did love was that every fucking guy walking past or every girl pretty much looked over, read it, and you could just watch their brain go like. And a few people were like, "Yeah, I know that." They didn't know that because they know that.
No,
they know
it just sounds like a real show.
It sounds real official when they read it in their mind. They're like, "Wow, that's something. That must be something. That is something." They're all.
Or it's gonna be something.
Yeah, so
that's becoming something.
We need
more.
more.
I heard about that at a party.
We need more of these extras. So you're going to be getting lots of swag. To
No, I think what we got to do is we got to style you out, and then since it's a dry cleaner, can we have him? Can we send him some shirts to like return to people with their dry cleaning?
Oh yeah, we'll put a bunch
Yeah,
of
I can
shirts.
totally do that. I can like do it to like 20 pieces a week, like suits, which is a 2 or 3 piece. I can do 2-piece dresses. I can do whatever you want.
Like it.
This is
We're
awesome.
all over.
This is how you put it. Because a lot of times you end up giving your shirts to bums, which is the opposite of people who get pay to get dry cleaning done. Jesus Christ.
Adam, you're gonna love this. One of our customers actually has a Hoodlam jacket that he gets dry cleaned every winter here.
Well, that guy we got to
nice.
give a shirt.
Well, that guy obviously gets a shirt.
Where's the dry cleaner based out of?
It's based out of Batavia, Illinois.
Illinois. Nice.
Yeah.
Sweetness.
Right on.
Well, it's awesome to hear you're trying to change your zone there and to get them a little bit more aware of what's going to sweeping across the nation and will be taking over their spot.
And if anyone else wants to get in on the Project Mayhem, you can tell, obviously, it's just self-initiate.
Yeah, just do what you do.
Call
what you
in,
do.
report to us, and we'll take care of you.
And the best part is that I got my work printer. I got the ink and everything, and the paper's all here. So I mean, it's pretty mayhem. I get my boss to pay for everything, and I spread it all over the place.
I love it.
We love
on
it, too.
Adam, we actually met at the 23rd Cannabis Cup. Right when I got to Amsterdam, yours was the first shop that I went into, and we talked about the bubble gum, the sage, and the sage and sour. And I gotta say, that was pretty cool going to Amsterdam and actually getting to talk to someone right away as soon as I got there.
Nice. Well, like you said, you're lucky too because that shop is not even open anymore. So it's gone.
Really?
Yep, they just closed it at 420 this year. So.
Oh wow!
It's no longer the awesome spot it was. But you can come here.
I'm gonna keep spreading the word and printing out little papers and posting them all over the place.
You're gonna come this way, right, and see us sometime.
Yeah, definitely come visit us out here too, because
I will. Oh, and also a belated Happy Father's Day to you guys. I know that was last week, but I want to say Happy Father's Day. I just found out I'm gonna be a dad.
Oh, congratulations, dude!
The due date is January 27th. I'm excited and nervous.
Keep us posted, dude. Definitely. Don't get arrested for putting things on stop signs before the baby's born, and
stay safe and definitely keep us informed. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's a life changer and it's pretty major.
All right, then I'll definitely send you guys an email later today with all the pictures of everything.
Right on, dude. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll post it on everything. Great.
Salute you for your good work.
Thank you.
And on that note,
I'm glad to finally talk to you. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Welcome, finally, Chris, Indo Expo.
Hey guys.
Wow, you're
Wow,
loud.
you
You should
got
host
good
an
voice.
expo.
Hey.
You'd be good. Remember the first
Oh,
KushCon where the guy was talking the whole time?
What's
You'd be
his name?
good.
Lerner? Was that Lerner? Yeah. That guy. Was he on a Segway? That guy was on a Segway, though. Don't do the Segway.
Don't. So, Indo Expo, it's coming. You just did one in Cali, right?
No, we our last one was November 2014 here in Denver.
And here comes the next
And
one.
here comes the next one, July 11th and 12th. This one we've added a bunch of cool stuff to the show. You guys are speaking at the show.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about that. We're talking about genetics and breeding.
Yeah, you
Right.
can talk about whatever
Whatever
you guys
we
want
want.
to,
Cool,
but we
'cause
put
we
you
usually
down for
talk-
breeding and genetics because we know that's one of your fortes.
Yeah, and
But
it'd
you
be
guys-
fun. And it says friends, so I can bring anybody we want.
Anybody, Adam.
That's
Dunn,
right.
Dunn,
Yeah.
yeah.
And who else you got going on that day?
That's
I heard you
right.
got
We
pretty-
got,
pretty star-studded.
Speaking of which, where the hell's JJ?
What happened to
You
you?
came and went.
What do you mean? He
You said
came
too
for
many-
you?
Too many people?
Busy guy.
Come on.
We weren't ready for him. It was too hot.
You did say it was too hot in here.
It's too hot. Luckily, we weren't upstairs. If we were upstairs, everyone would have died. We would have killed that guy because he couldn't sweat. That would have definitely happened.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm telling you.
Right on, Chris.
We got that same day. We also have Kyle Cushman speaking, and then we're ending the day with the Stanley Brothers. They're coming in. And
Oh, I
talking.
thought we were headlining.
So we got-
Whoa. We're not
I thought we
headlining?
were gonna switch. I thought
Well, this might be a walk-off situation.
We are flying you in on the Indo Expo jet, though. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's all we
That's
need to
true.
know.
So I guess if that's the time, you got to schedule a
Wait,
jet.
what?
Shouldn't jets be able to go whenever the hell you fucking want?
They can, yeah.
But we do really. That's awesome. You guys are doing Chalice and making it back for Indo, so we really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're pushing the boundaries now. Dougie's gonna be all bummed because he's probably gonna, dude, I scheduled you guys to give away all the best awards at the last minute. No,
he's not.
Yeah, we lost a small group of people to Chalice and to. There's also a huge big ag show going on in Ohio the same date. But this is the year of events.
Oh yeah.
This is a cycle.
When we started this, there was probably three. You know, there's always been high times, but there was like CannaCon and NCIA. So we figured there was a lot of space still. And I think since the last show 8 months ago, there's probably been 20 new shows that popped up.
Yeah. It's almost like when you're growing a crop and you think oh man, I'm going to time this shit perfect, and then all of a sudden you're like,
Right.
everyone drops on the same day, and you're like, what? Everyone got the same cuts.
In
on the
this
same
case,
day?
every show seems to be happening within 30 days of each other. So
Right.
it should be interesting. But what's really cool about Indo is that it really represents the local Colorado industry, and it's very Colorado strong. And we have such big names. You know, people are coming out from all over the country, from all over the world actually, to come and check out the show. It's a chance for them to check out the industry in Denver, see what's going on, and I definitely think we're kind of the tastemakers for the Colorado industry is becoming the tastemakers for the world in the cannabis industry. So it's kind of killing
definitely-
two birds with one stone.
Definitely looks like a very
Stoning
proper
two
show.
birds with
Yeah. Get two birds done at once. It definitely looks like a proper show, you know.
No, and I didn't make it to the last show. I think there was also I think the last show had something where there was a clash of another show too.
We went toe to toe with NCIA.
that's
Their
what it
Vegas
was.
show
That
was
was it.
going on the exact same day,
Right.
and we sold out. We had 141 different companies. We had thousands of buyers shopping the show.
Yeah, I remember I was there hearing it was good, and I was like,
Yeah.
well, we could have won, but we
Yeah.
couldn't really because we couldn't be in two.
And the other thing that's cool about it too is like we're big supporters of Waste Farmer and Batch 64. Give it like a shout out to my buddy Jason over at Batch 64. Way to Grow is our cultivation sponsor. So all the
So
same
you
guys.
got Black Dog here.
Black
yeah, it's
Dog,
a lot,
Corey
it's a
at
lot of
Black
our
Dog.
buddies here, yeah.
Yeah, totally. So it's a lot of friends, and it's cool because either your buddy's speaking, your buddy's exhibiting, you're repping for your company, for a jillion different reasons. We're able to get the people to show up for the show, which is great. Which seems to be the hard thing for other people producing events lately is to get people to actually come out for it.
Right. It's all well and good to plan a big event, but to not have
Yeah.
anyone show up is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, and he made a good point too when he was talking about Waste Farmer. It's like the other thing is the industry is moving so fast. We have to do something to kind of protect the culture that we had here.
Well, it's cool that you
know?
guys are doing like a job fair too on the public day, so a lot of people want to know how to get in the industry. I get asked that question all the
Exactly.
time. It's like, boom. just
Yeah,
show
and
up.
the way that works too is any company that's exhibiting with us, if they are if they're hiring, they need new reps, they need anything, bud tenders, anything, they just put up that they're a job fair participant, and then people know where to go with their resumes. But it was really successful last year, so we want to keep that part of the show. We also added
Maybe
a
we'll-
conference.
Maybe we'll do a job fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, me and you can do job fairs.
Well, we'll get an intern, a sound guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sound guys might be good.
So we
I
also
can just turn all the mics off real quick if you want me to.
Yeah, I thought you want to be the video guy. You want a
guy.
sound guy to do the sound, and you want to be the video guy.
I thought you wanted to be doing a lot of those sweeping shots. Around
Yeah, the sweeping. Switch to intense angle.
Yeah, a lot
Switch
of
to overhead.
overhead.
Switch to intense angle. Cross angle. That's
360.
what you want. Direct. You need to move up. You need to let go.
Okay.
We're trying to move you up. We've got to build underneath you.
So give us the dates, obviously.
Yeah, of course, the
Repeating-
dates, location,
repeating them
tickets.
over and
July 11th and 12th. It is a B2B trade show, so the intention is that it's for people to come and shop, people that own hydro centers, garden stores, dispensary owners, smoke shop owners, stuff like that. But then it's also open to the public on Sunday for the job fair. And you know how this industry
And
is
listen
here.
to us.
We've got, and well, it's good because the public day is probably the bigger day.
No, that's the day I want to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to talk too much industry
And
whiners.
since there's so much gray, industry still, you can't judge a book by its cover. There could be some young kid that's coming in there shopping for 100 lights. So
Yeah, for sure.
So we do some strong business on the Sunday also.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show. We also added a conference to this show, so we're trying to bring some more information to it. Michael Miller from the National Cannabis Chamber of Commerce is the sponsor of the event, and he's bringing in some really big speakers. We've got some big local guys like Mike Dunn, a bunch of Bob Hoban, different lawyers and people like that in the community. He's also flying in Senator Nelson out of the Virgin Islands.
A lot of our friends.
And,
These are all people we look up to.
him. He's supposed to be a real cool guy.
Senator Nelson's been on the
He's
show.
coming.
He's real cool.
He rocks some long dreadlocks. He said he's going to be camping out all weekend, but he'll be coming down the hill. For
Yeah,
the
he's
show.
the man,
I was like,
dude.
Hell yeah. So we got a bunch of big names at the conference also. And then also we just discounted the conference down to $99. So we'd like to get a bunch of people out for that. They're going to be talking about the tribal nations, doing a big thing on hemp, a big thing on banking solutions. So again, all the hot topics
for
issues.
sure.
Yeah. So we got the conference, we got glass blowers, we do some demonstrations, we got great speakers like you guys and Kyle and the Stanley brothers and Hemp Colorado, Veronica.
Nice.
She's doing a bunch of stuff there. She also brought in a dozen different companies to represent some different hemp products, and so it's going to be a super tight show. We've got well over 100 exhibitors already signed up. And this is kind of when they start flying off the shelves too. Is everybody waits till last minute in this
and
industry?
you get your deals. That's
Yeah.
because they're waiting for deals. You realize that.
Yeah, well,
So here's what you got to do.
They're
I'll
not
tell
so
you-
far
I'll
off.
tell you a secret. So what you do is you be like, look, I know you're going to wait for a deal, and everyone's
Right.
going to wait for a deal, but I want to take care of you right now. So
Right.
let me just give you the deal up front, and then you still charge them whatever you were going to
Yeah.
charge them.
Bam, like
or the first
Just
week
like
it's
that.
1,000 and it goes up from there or something like that. Yeah, but it's funny they do, and we're actually running some promotions right now just to plug the last available spots.
You get a shitty location in the corner of the room, but you're there, and then
Right.
it's
Right, and people want to know who's there too before they sign up. It's that's that
right.
mentality.
Yeah.
of-
What kind of show is this?
Yeah. So NCIA is 2 weeks earlier. We just had CannaCon here.
Well, we're going to be there.
But
So if
this
you're
is
listening
going
to
to
this,
be
you
a
probably want to
super
be there.
strong, Colorado strong event, and just like last year, it should be even better. So we're excited to have you guys there. We're excited about all the local companies that are working with us, and we hope to keep putting on killer shows. We're going to be doing. We have a deal with the Denver Mart where we're producing Indo Expo there for the next 10 years.
Wow.
So
Nice.
you'll see us at least once a year here in Denver, and then I think we're starting to feel out Florida and Phoenix and some other places.
All right. Well, you can't book us anywhere hotter than here, but anywhere cooler than here, you can book
Anything
us.
114 degrees is out of the question.
Entirely out of the question. Well, right on, man. And can people just buy tickets at the box office? Show up at the Denver Mart day of, or is it better to buy them online?
You can show up if you want to register to be a buyer. You should pre-register. It just kind of expedites things at the gate. But the other thing is anyone who is in the industry. So we built this show for the industry. We really did, for all the growers, for all the dispensary owners, for all these people. So if you have a key or support badge, you get in the door for free.
Okay, that's
and
nice.
just a way to kind of support locally.
We
and
love
then
that.
also, if you're just public and you're interested in getting into the industry, you want to learn some stuff and you want to check out the show, it's $30 at the gate. And then Saturday is only for businesses and or industry professionals.
Nice.
So $30 for public and free to buyers and free to anyone who has a key or support badge. And yeah, that's it.
Sweet. So that's going to be like a pretty big. That weekend is because it's funny how it just rolled out. You know, that like a couple years ago, that would never have been a real hot weekend.
Right.
Now you're competing with.
I think it was
710,
fueled by 710, really, and unfortunately, something happened with 710 in Adams County, or getting their paperwork in, or I'm not exactly sure what happened, but we were disappointed about that because we thought, okay, well, our show is not dry, but at the same time, it is business centric.
Sure,
it's all about the industry, and we thought this is going to be perfect to have 710 Cup out back.
Yeah,
people can go. We were calling it the Mullet Show.
Right.
Business in the front, party in the back, and when things fell through for them, they've now moved their dates to I think October. I don't know if you guys might know, but unfortunately, they're not going on right out back, which would have been cool for all exhibitors. But we are doing a party here.
What?
We're doing a party here Saturday night.
Here.
Yeah, we're doing a party here. It's for all the exhibitors, and it's just a VIP Indo Expo party.
There you go.
You're going to be cooking. Jerky's going to be cooking, and we're going to blow this place up. We got a good band lined up, and it should be really fun. So that's be a fun industry night.
I live out back, so I'll be complaining right away.
Keep it down.
Keep it down. I smell weed coming from my neighbors.
That'll be on Saturday night, July 11th. Probably start around 7 and go till whenever. Till whenever Adam kicks us out.
Oh yeah, so I'm like, get the fuck out of my property. Yeah, nice one. What are you doing there? Reading something?
Reading something. Just reading some
just
stuff.
Reading random shit?
Yeah,
Come on.
Coming on. I'm just trying to see what we're going to fit into the show here, bud.
How much time we got?
We got 8 minutes.
8
so
minutes.
we're in the
8
squeeze.
minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. I figured we were down to the final grind.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just trying to see what we should do.
So we're looking forward to definitely that one, and we're gonna be going for. It'll be pretty fun, actually. I think just come back late. Quick nap.
We're coming back Saturday night, resting up.
Are you guys making it back Saturday? Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna take the
You're
last
flying
flight
in Sunday morning.
That was the plan.
I was trying to make it as late as I could in the daytime.
That's my plan.
That's helpful too, because I still got to jet up to Longmont and jet back and all that.
Yeah.
I said just land and run in and just bam.
And I guess James from Seeds Here Now is bringing in a bunch of other, he's repping for a bunch of seed companies, and he helped to bring you guys on board. And so that's another cool thing about our show is you're not going to see a lot of plants or a lot of genetics available at any other events. I mean, we had buckets of hemp seed. We had
last time I went to your show was actually cool. That's where I met, I think James and that whole crew. La Plata was there and all those guys.
Yeah, and people made some huge deals. People made huge talked to a company who sold some greenhouses, made $80,000 greenhouses. They just bumped into some people at our show.
Nice.
They're making connections to get on board with hemp farmers, getting jobs in the industry, getting some knowledge. It's a really good way to just go mingle for the day, network, see some old friends, make some new friends. Eric Steckler's bringing in a bunch of his crew, and they're doing glass blowing demonstrations throughout. So they're actually going to do a class on glass blowing at the event.
That's cool.
Learn how to, glass blowing 101 type of thing.
Sure.
So there's a lot of cool stuff, whether you're, farm league or a seasoned pro, there's something for everybody at the show.
What I liked about the last one too was because it was B2B, like everyone was someone worth talking to. It wasn't like you're in a crowd of like tourists, more or less.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, you see, there's a lot of consumer shows out there, all these cups and stuff like that. Those are fun.
For networking as an attendee with other attendees and people behind the booths and everything. That's why B2B shows are always great.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the issue, too, with all these events going on. And then there's these cups and promo events, and then there's these finance shows out there. We really decided that what the industry was going to need in the long run, because it is a real industry and it's not going anywhere, is a pure B2B trade show. And so that's the whole point. You bring out these solid people that are all in the industry. You're not talking to people about how to pH their water and stuff like that. And this is not a stoners and concrete kind of thing. I mean, a kid that's dabbed out, that's running around, eating pizza and stuff, is not necessarily going to buy an $80,000 extractor on the spot. I'm sure it happens.
Right.
But that's not what he's there shopping to do. He's there to, have fun, listen to music, see some girls, smoke some,
Yeah.
So it's a different event altogether. And so I think now the industry's starting to figure out where they land in the whole scheme of things. Because before it was like, High Times gets 50,000 people. I definitely got to exhibit there. Well, it's a great show, and they've got the foot traffic, but
you don't need 80,000.
Depends on your product. If you're selling a product that is mass produced like that, 100% perfect.
Right.
Exactly.
There's 5,000 good, 5,000 people that are actually looking for a little more your size thing.
And you see these shows too, like when Galleria, Vaporize, 360 Horticulture, big industry, they do these big conglomeration shows. again, a really good idea. And in the future, that might be the future of trade shows. We might have to link up with all these other medium-sized shows and produce the American Cannabis Expo or something. Right. But if you're a buyer, if you ever go shop trade shows, it's really hard to get around to 500 booths. Yeah. You become lost in an ocean of vape pens and things like that. So a nice medium-sized show, and it's way more about quality than it is about quantity.
Of
course. Such as the industry.
Is that why we're there?
Yeah, that's why we're there.
That's why you guys are there. So, yeah, that's why we bring out the big guns.
Nice.
The little big guns.
All right. Well, we got 4 minutes.
All right. So
4 minutes.
The kid's gonna do something exciting, right? A wheelie or something.
Did your bike get towed?
Yeah. What happened to the bike? Was it even in fear of getting towed, or did the guy just make
the bike tow truck? Douchebag next door. He's like, dude, that's a separate unit you parked in front of. Like, all right, dude. All I gotta do is say, hey, can you move your fucking bike? It takes 2 seconds. You know, you're parked in front of a unit that doesn't belong to Green Labs. You know, you're a douchebag. You can just ask me to move my bike.
Wow.
Fucking asshole.
So you don't think he's listening to the show right now?
Yeah, shout out to that guy.
We love that guy.
Fucking gargle him, even if you are listening.
Gargle
Seriously.
So okay, now we know the kid's bike is safe. Everybody's happy again. Bike, 3 minutes left. What's up?
You went away. What happened? Did you go take a nap?
What are you doing? You're wondering. You're pacing. Yeah, pretty much. We're giving you a last minute shout out. You don't want your shout out?
Oh my God, my attention deficit disorder is taking over. At this, I've been here since 10:30, so I'm a little bit crazy right now.
Okay. Oh man, stir crazy.
But the studio is clean as fuck.
You just went upstairs and cleaned the studio
just right
while
now.
we were doing the show?
No, when I got here the first thing this morning, I did.
So now it's all good.
So I'm suffering from a little bit of a heat stroke and insanity right now.
Stroke insanity.
So just ignore me.
All right, ignore you.
I'm gonna smoke a bowl.
Jerky doesn't get really much of a shout out. We know he
Thanks
shout out
the
to
juice.
the chickens that Jerky's going
Thanks
to
for
kill.
the wrap.
Flesh and
Oh, come on, man. Big shout out to Island Pepper Pot. Get Jerky some worky.
There you go. Give this jerk
Project
some work.
Mayhem.
Give this jerk some work.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. That's a huge shout out right there. That's like a $10,000 shout out.
I paid for today's lunch. Come on.
In the theme of the sound, today is it Denver Bike Twerk Day.
Yes.
Not
It's over Bike Twerk
Bike
Day,
twerk
too. It's just
day.
Not
Colorado.
bike twerking?
Well, you can. It's bike twerk.
Bike twerk.
Not bike
apostrophe,
twerk.
Oh, okay.
Bike
Bike
W-E-R-K. Bike
twerking?
Twerk.
Twerking?
Ride your bike twerk.
And twerk? I don't get it.
Twerking.
Bike and
So
twerk
if you
day?
see white guys riding their bike, shaking their ass,
They're
in
out of
Denver
it.
today, you understand what's going on.
Yeah,
They
they're
misread
confused. They're like
the
you.
label.
Is that you? Is that right?
Is that why you wore those special shorts so you could twerk?
Yes,
Yeah,
my
I got you.
tights.
It's just twerk shorts.
This is twerk shorts.
Twerk shorts. Shout out to my beautiful wife Cece, who's was trying to get in with the kid over here earlier. Almost,
It almost made it.
He was
He
trying.
almost
So
made it in.
I
and
heard him
then
scream, and we're out at the park right now. So
house.
yeah, and this weekend, a big party down at Mama Ace's farm. So I think Jerkman might even be down there
Wait,
jerking
what?
around.
What, dude? Do I just not get invited to anything anymore?
No, you're not.
Nobody invites me to fucking anything
I
anymore.
can't have
30 plus events.
bikers.
It's
I
a
can't
30
have,
plus.
I can't have bikers on my property.
Yeah, the landlord's
Alright,
actually.
fine.
So neighbors will get all like, "What the hell? Those loud pipes!"
It's not that loud.
It is loud.
I thought you got it because it's loud.
It's pretty loud.
You added, yeah, exactly.
But really, how come I don't get invited to these things anymore?
Everybody's invited.
I wasn't invited until right now, and it wasn't even a formal invite. I just heard about it. Yeah, it's not cool.
Don't look at me like I blew it. You're the one who just announced your birthday party on the radio.
Big times.
Big times.
Big times. 12,000 people will be there. Well, you gotta know me. You gotta know how to get there. And
I know how to get there. I've been there like 6 times.
You? Do I look like I'm talking to you over here? I'm talking to the world. Anyways, and shout out to Dinosaur Train.
Dinosaur
for
Train
not,
up at Dinosaur Ridge.
I'm getting my refund for your tickets.
Nice. There you go.
Thank you. Hopefully I get my Dinosaur Train refund.
Dinosaur refund. Big shout out to my beautiful wife Reese, whose eye is now much better, and little baby Farron, who's totally walking now, 100%, doing her thing.
Yeah, totally changed. Everything in the house changed now.
Yeah, certain things are different. I have to get rid of my coffee table, which I've liked.
Everything has to creep. Yeah, now things start to get creep higher and
yeah,
the whole world goes higher. Everything, yeah, it's fun.
Nice. All right, guys. We'll catch you next week. Thanks for hanging out and late with us. We finally made
Guess
it.
the humidity if you want a pack of seeds.
Yeah, they're all sprouting in the office right now.
800% humidity. See you guys next week.
We're gonna bring some dry ice and make homemade air conditioners.
Oh, those are good. Those little. You should get me
5-gallon bucket and a fan would be good.
Booyah. All right. Kill that.
Yeah. I'm taking a nap.